Boom! What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Don Uncensored, channel where we talk about tips, tricks, and knowledge as we go through our self-improvement. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great subject for you all. Procrastination, man. Let's talk about it. First of all, what is procrastination? Procrastination is you not doing the task even though you know you need to do it. Why the fuck are you still sitting on your ass when you still know you need to be doing something that needs to get done, brother? Why are you sitting on your ass for the last 5 hours on the couch watching TikTok videos and scrolling on your phone all day, only for you to then realize, oh shit, I have something I need to do today? Why? Because you've been procrastinating. But I can't even blame you, because procrastination is something that every single human being deals with. But I promise you, there are really mainly 5 reasons why you are dealing with procrastination. And today I'm going to show you exactly why. So let's start off with the first one. Procrastination is trauma. Now you might be sitting there asking me, Don, what the hell do you mean my procrastination is caused by my trauma? Now, let's think about it like this. Your trauma 9 times out of 10, actually 10 times out of 10, equals your habits. So let's look at it like this. If your trauma equals your habits and procrastination is actually just a habit that's being made, your procrastination directly comes from, your what? Your trauma. Guess what, big dog? You've just been traumatized and you've been using procrastination to stop yourself from being able to do what you want to do. You've been using procrastination because you went through something that was traumatic enough for you to realize that if I'm feeling some type of emotion, I feel like I need to get something done and I don't want to do it, let me just wait on it. Let me just step back and let me just wait on it. Let me step back and let me just wait. Let me step back and let me just wait on it. No, brother, you can't do that. You have to realize, you have to get over this trauma. This trauma is blocking you from your goals. This trauma is blocking you from your success. This trauma is blocking you from becoming better. If you want to become better, why are you procrastinating so much? Why are you still allowing this trauma that you experience to stop you from being able to chase your dreams? How does that make sense? You're allowing something that happened in your past and you don't have the cojones, the balls, to be able to go through and actually delve into the mind of your psyche, open up that skeleton, open up the closet, pull the skeleton out, look him in his face and slap the shit out of him and throw him away. You don't have the balls to do that. You need to understand, trauma also makes procrastination. Trauma is a direct link to your habits. Your habits will happen 10 times out of 10 because of your trauma. That is the main reason why. If you ever wondered why you started procrastinating, look back and see if there's ever one point in your life where you decided to do something and you got so traumatized after it. Maybe it was an emotion you felt, maybe somebody said something, maybe there's a physical activity, maybe it was a mental something. Something traumatized you and scarred you so much that you decided to start putting all the stuff you want to do on the back burner. And you started doing stuff that was just more or less not as important as what needs to get done. You've been using procrastination as one of your habits. It's one of the habits you use to guard against the trauma that you have. So you need to understand, it's not anything that's not like it's gonna kill you, brother. Trauma is just something for you to grow stronger from. It's something for you to be able to look back on and realize you can get stronger from it. So stop allowing your trauma to be able to, make you feel some certain type of way, or make you feel like, oh, I only can act in a certain type of way because before, when I did it before this certain type of way, this is what happened. Why are you allowing the past to determine what your future looks like? Yeah, some of y'all wonder exactly why you still stay in the same place, because you've been allowing the past to be able to rewrite your future when you are the one who's in actual hold of your future. Why are you allowing past you to rewrite your future when you are the one who has the pen and paper in your hand? Make it make sense. Number 2, you lack a sense of danger. Now, what does this mean? When you lack a sense of danger, all this means is that you have no idea of what is coming towards you. You don't realize how important it is to do something until, the thing that needs to get done, the thing that was so important is right in front of you. You have no sense of danger. If I'm in a lion pit and I'm sitting there playing on my phone like this, like a dweeb, just looking at, just nothing, and I'm in the middle of a lion pit, everybody else who's looking at me is like, why the fuck is this dude on his phone in a lion pit? He has no sense of danger. You're the same way with your goals. You have no sense of danger. You have no sense of, oh shit, I don't have a lot of time in my life. I do not have that. I don't have a promised end date. I could go tomorrow. God could take me right now. The universe could take me right now and there would be no more dawn. There would be nothing. But guess what? I would have died knowing that I didn't procrastinate on what I wanted and I actually decided to go after my goals. That's the problem with a lot of y'all. Y'all have no sense of danger. Y'all have no sense of time. Y'all have no sense of, I do not have an infinite amount of time. I have a very finite, very small 80 years to live. Y'all only have 80 years to live. 80 years. That's not a long time. Some of your guys' grandparents were 7 years old when you were born, and then 10 years later, they're gone just like that. Some of y'all had grandparents, right? And you grew up and then boom, they were gone. And every single time you ask yourself, man, I really wish I had more time with that person. The reason why you felt like that was because you had no sense of danger. You had no sense of time. You had no sense of, I'm not going to have an infinite amount of time with this person. I'm not going to have an infinite amount of time with this task. Let me enjoy it. Let me actually start doing it more. Y'all don't understand. There's no sense of danger. Right? Y'all don't understand that there's no sense of, oh my gosh, this is running out for me. Y'all have no sense of, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have every single day to go through it. I will die one day. So why are you spending the time that you do have, that very finite amount of time that you have, dicking off? You're not chasing your purpose. You're not chasing your goals. You're not trying to help anybody before you leave. You're not trying to leave the world a better place. You're not trying to find or even figure out what your purpose is. You're doing so many things. You're distracting yourself. You're going to parties, drinking, doing drugs, fucking on girls, doing whatever else it might be that distracts you, playing video games for 14 plus hours a day. I'm telling you, the reason why you're not able to get anything done is you lack a sense of danger. You lack a sense of, oh shit, you have no gun pointed to the back of your head. If you had a gun pointed to the back of your head and they said every single day you have to work for 12 plus hours a day on your purpose and make sure every single day the task that needs to get done to move it forward, aka recording videos, scripting videos, doing sales calls, learning on your mentorship, doing your coaching calls, all of that, right? If you're like me, if that's your purpose, if they held a gun to the back of your head and said, yeah, you have to do this every single day, I bet you would do it, right? Because you have a sense of danger. You have a sense of, oh shit, somebody's holding a gun literally to the back of my head. But for some reason, y'all don't understand that time and also everything else is still pointing that gun. You have about 23,000 different guns being aimed at you right now. Literally right now, you existing right now, you have about 23,000 plus, maybe even more pointed at you right now. Multiple things are working against you, and multiple of these things are just itching to pull the trigger. And you're sitting there just like lollygagging because why? Because you have no sense of danger, because you have no sense of, I'm not going to have an infinite amount of time on this earth. You have no sense of, man, I'm not going to be able to do everything that I want to. Man, I might not even be able to achieve my goals, but the only reason you do this is because you have no sense of danger. Once you realize that not everything is going to be infinite, once you realize that not everything is going to be, promised for as long as you want it to, you'll understand. Guess what? It's going to take a little minute, and guess what? You're going to stop procrastinating because now you have a sense of danger. Now you understand, I don't have an infinite amount of time. Let me lock in and let me make sure I get done, and let me make sure I do my purpose every single day and at least try to leave the world and my family in a better state before I leave. Number 3, lack of compound. Now, what do I mean by this? If we all know what compound interest is, if you have a high yield savings account, which I hope you do, you would understand that compound interest means that the more you leave something in, the more it's going to start compounding. So if I leave a penny in for one day, and every single day that penny is going to start replenishing 1 penny every single day, if that penny multiplies itself every single day, you will have $1 million by the end of that 30 days, maybe even more. Right? That's the power of compound interest. That's the power of compounding effects. You guys don't understand that with no type of compounding effect on your life, how are you going to be able to build the life that you want if you're not constantly chasing it every single day and building on it to at least even be better or start doing things in a better standpoint? Why would that make sense? You guys don't understand that if there's no compounding, if there's no me layering a cake, if I'm building a cake, if my life is a cake, and I'm not even building layers like this, I'm just expecting that I can just hop in and I can just, let me just bake the full cake without making the layers, brother, your cake is gonna be ass. There's not going to be great seamlessness. The flavors aren't going to blend together. The things aren't going to work together. You're going to have multiple things that either need to be mixed and reused or, made better because of the fact that you didn't understand it's a process to this. It's not something that you can just do one take. No, it takes a while. You need to build the layers of the cake as you keep going to make that masterpiece. Y'all need to understand the reason you procrastinate is because you don't understand there's no compound. You don't understand that there's no compounding in your life going on right now. You have a lack of compound. You go to the gym, right? And you don't get any gains. But by you going to the gym, you're compounding that. You're putting your body through the wear and tear to be able to grind itself down and regrow itself to become stronger. right? If you go work on your purpose every single day, you may not see the immediate effects, but guess what? Every single day you'll start to get better. You'll start being able to give speeches better. You'll start being able to give, longer presentations. You'll start being able to even condense these conversations or condense these presentations and make them much more hitty in a much smaller amount of time. Compounding interest is something that is not only in finance, it's something that's in your entire life. If you're going to the gym and you're trying to get stronger, you're not going to be able to just lift a weight one time and become Johnny fucking Bravo. You're not going to be able to lift a weight one time and become Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're not going to be able to lift one time or do one squat and become Tom Platz. You're not going to be able to become these people, but you become these people by understanding that compounding effects work in real life. If you want to get stronger, you go to the gym and you keep lifting heavier weight. That's compound interest on your body. If you want to become mentally tougher, you put yourself through harder challenges. That's compound interest on your mind. You want to start making more money, you start putting in more time on your purpose, on your business. That's compound interest on your money. You put that money into a compounding or into a high yield savings account. That's compound interest on your money. You want to get better with God, so you put in more time to be able to, understand the God, universe, how it works. What do they want you to do? What's your God-given purpose? That's compound interest on your faith, on your spirituality, on who you are. You want to become better with humans, so you start putting in more time to become better with them, right? You start understanding them more, human relationships, how to talk to people. That's compound interest on human relationships. Everything in your life is a sum of compound interest. Everything you do is a sum of compound interest. You want to become better at something? Do it for longer. You want to become better at something? Do it more. You want to become better at something? Do it longer, better, and learn how to shorten it and be more concise. That's how you start getting better. But the only way you can start getting that good is once you start doing it more. So I don't understand why y'all think that you can just be able to make the cake one time and it's going to be perfect, not understanding that to be able to make a perfect cake, it's going to take a long amount of time. But no, you guys don't want to go through that. You just want the instant gratification like this for your actions. That's not how that works, pal. It's going to take a little minute for you to be able to get what you want because of that. But you need to understand it's better to start now than to start 3 years from now when you could actually just start compounding that. Think about how much farther you would be if you started now instead of 3 years later. The compound interest you would gain from over those 3 years would be way more than if you started 3 years from now. So why are you procrastinating? You're procrastinating because you don't understand. You're procrastinating because you don't realize that there's no compounding interest in your life right now. You're not trying to compound on multiple things. You're not trying to become better in multiple facets, or at least focus that interest and focus that attention on one facet and become better at it every single day. You're not trying to compound that. So because of that, you lack that. Because of that, you procrastinate because you see no progress. But you don't understand that progress doesn't come unless you keep doing it every single day, day in, day out. Even when it doesn't feel like anything's moving, the needle is still moving. You need to understand that. But the last one will be comfortability. Y'all are way too comfortable being in the same spot that you've been in for the last 5 years. The reason why you feel that way is because, one, you've been procrastinating on getting goals done, but also number two, you're human. You want to only chase the things that make you feel good. You want to chase the things that only make you feel like you're at home. So why would you want to become better? Why would you want to go start taking risks? Start adding more layers to your own cake when the cake you have is, sufficient enough. It tastes good enough, right? You could want a better cake, but why would you want that? You could just keep going with the cake that you know tastes good. Why? Y'all want to become so comfortable once you reach one certain spot. You get to this one level and you're like, all right, okay, cool, I'm good. No, go harder. I just hit 200 subs. Y'all think I'm about to just sit here and not go harder? I'm about to do longer presentations. I'm about to start plugging my channel more. I'm about to start doing more openings for my coaching program. I'm about to do multiple things. I'm about to go 5 times as harder. But y'all don't understand that. I am not comfortable with where I'm at. Y'all are comfortable where you at. So you procrastinate because of that. You're so comfortable being where you're at because of that. You've been comfortable, and because of that comfortability, it breeds procrastination. You become procrastinative because you're comfortable, because you're not taking multiple risks, because you're not putting yourself deep into the hole and seeing how far you can climb out of it, because you're not taking the risk to see, maybe, just maybe, this might work if I stick it out enough. Comfortability. You become too comfortable with the cake you've been feeding yourself for too long. You need to understand you can build a better cake. You can become a better baker. You can become a better person. You can make your life a lot better if you just step out of your zone of comfortability. You want to stay so comfortable because again, the cake tastes good, but you don't even know that you can make a much better tasting cake than the one you've been eating your entire life. But you're just so used to that cake that you've been had, you just don't want to change. And that's the problem with a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all just don't like change. A lot of y'all don't like taking risks. And a lot of y'all will wonder exactly when some people get super successful, and you're like, oh my God, how did this person get successful? Man, you make up every single excuse for that person. Oh, they were rich, they were born into that family, not even realizing that no, this person was not comfortable with where they were, so they decided to take the risk and keep going. They stopped being procrastinative like you've been, like a fucking dumbass, by sitting on the couch every single day for the last 16 hours or however long you've been doing, just procrastinating on tasks. You probably have shit you need to do right now. I have shit I need to do right now, and I've been procrastinating on that. I'm talking to myself as well. I've been doing some dumb shit because I've gotten comfortable in certain areas, but guess what? I'm no longer comfortable. I don't want to be the same person. I don't want to be the 99%. I want to get as far away from y'all motherfuckers as I can. I don't even want to be associated with y'all. That's how you need to think. You need to realize that you can become the best version. You can become much better. But to do this, you need to lock in. You need to stop being comfortable. You need to stop being okay with where you've been at. You need to stop eating the same cake and wonder, you know, this vanilla cake is pretty good, but I wonder what the tiramisu might taste like. Let me go try that real quick. Let me just go step out of my comfortability zone and see how that is. And guess what? Sometimes you may not like the cake. Sometimes baking the cake will blow up in your face. But guess what? It's better to know that certain things won't happen or won't go good because of the way you've done it. And you can then learn how to get around it. You can then learn how to actually use that lesson and apply it to different parts of your life. But no, y'all want to just sit down, sit on the game. Let me just go do this. Let me just, you know, I need to go mow the grass. I'm going to go, you know, jack off. I need to go talk to my wife about an important situation. I'm just gonna go out and leave on my truck, right? You do multiple things. You walk away from your responsibilities that you have because you're too comfortable not facing them, because you've been traumatized. So your procrastination has become a habit to deal with your trauma, right? And because of that, you've just been going on and on and on. But then you also don't understand, you don't have a sense of danger. You don't have an imminent sense of, oh shit, I'm going to die. Let me actually just do something with my life, so at least that way when I die, I can be comfortable enough to being like, oh my God, I actually did something with my life. And then another thing, y'all don't understand how compound interest works. You don't understand that compound only comes from you working day in, day out. How are you gonna get better if you're not compounding every single day, brother? Doesn't make sense. And the last one, you've been too comfortable. You've been comfortable where you've been at. You've been comfortable with the cake you've been feeding yourself. You haven't decided to go hungry. You haven't decided to try other cakes. How are you gonna be able to get better if you haven't tried any other cakes? Make it make sense. So stop doing all these things. Once you fix these, once you start conquering these, I promise you procrastination will become something of the past. It will become something that does not even matter to you. Conquer this, you can conquer a lot more. Be a conqueror.